Woohoo! Woo! Baby, baby. What just happened today? Like, seriously, what happened? This is the one day I was busy, had things to do. Jahan Dotson is a Philadelphia Eagle. Are you serious right now? Oh my God, no one saw this coming. I made a video on this a few days ago that potentially this could happen, but everybody said no, he'll never get traded within the division. And Howie Roseman just keeps winning. And guys, this move just put us over the top. We're gonna get into it. Let's go.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
I'm losing my breath right now because this is just one of the moves I didn't think it would. Potentially, this move could have happened, but because of just the size of it, because of it was in the division, and I had Washington fans, I've had Eagle fans tell me, "Oh, it would." Come on, Dan Campbell's not. I'm sorry, Dan Campbell. Dan Quinn's not stupid at this point. Really not stupid. Howie Roseman just keeps getting away with this. But yes, Jahan Dotson is a Philadelphia Eagle. It is official, guys. Like, holy shit. Who would have expected? I mean, we were thinking about John Mechie. We were thinking about somebody else that was out there. Maybe the Eagles did like what they had in the building. But between Paris Campbell just coming back from a groin injury, missed a lot of valuable time. Britton Covey has had a better camp, but just not really there yet. And not as the full-time wide receiver 3 that everyone looks at him as. And Johnny Wilson's been out with a concussion. And John Ross, I don't think, has potential to be the full-time starter at wide receiver 3. So there was still a lot of questions in the air regarding this wide receiver 3 position. We've been having it all season. We had the last few years, we've had trouble upgrading this position, or at least seeing the potential that we can get from somebody. There was rumors coming out of Washington Commanders camp. I made a video on this a few days ago that Jahan Dotson was literally on the bubble, being really going to be cut from this team or be on the practice squad at this point. Even on the bubble to make the team. I mean, not even as a number 3 receiver. Okay. And in my eyes, he's a number 1/2. And at least I would say he's a 2 right now. But I think he could start as a number 1 for another team, or a 1A, 1B. I mean, something like that. But this move, now this roster is completely is fantastic. Offensively, you're over the top with the roster that you have, with Saquon Barkley being in it now. Now on top of Jahan Dotson, legit can play outside, inside, how they're going to use him. Like, you have a major upgrade. This reminds me of when the Eagles picked up LeGarrette Blount in 2017. That was the move that really put us over the top for that year that screams Super Bowl. I'm not going to go ahead of myself to say anything that the Eagles are going to do anything this year. And yes, in my mind, I'm going to think like they are. But guys, I mean, the detail to this deal, from what it looks like, the Eagles gave up a 5th-round pick. Okay, sorry, the Commanders gave up a 5th-round pick. The Eagles gave up a 3rd and a 7th for next year. The Eagles had another 3rd-rounder. The Eagles had 4 7th-round picks. Okay, you're not drafting. Usually when the Eagles have extra 6th-rounders, extra 7ths, extra 5th-round picks, usually the Eagles deal those as extra ammo for trades. So yes, for not a 2nd-round pick, not even a 2nd-round pick, we gave them up for a 3rd. I think this was a steal trade with a little bit extra spice into it. I mean, this is, yeah. I mean, this. You can't do nothing with this roster this year offensively. This better be, Kellen Moore's got a lot on his plate, because this better be one of the most dangerous offenses I can ever see this year. Not even just that, but look at the contract situation with Jahan Dotson as it is. I mean, his cap numbers you could keep him after this year if you want. I mean, you could keep him on this roster for another year. Now, he's going to be looking for another deal. He's got some pretty good numbers. Obviously, quarterback situations in Washington have, really they haven't found their quarterback. Hopefully they did with Jaden Daniels. They've had a quarterback situation. They've always had a really good offense, but really that's really been only the missing piece to make these receivers look a lot better than they were. Okay, between McLaurin and obviously having Jahan Dotson, which this was a guy a few years ago I had a lot of interest in the draft, but I'm glad the direction we went regardless. But $4.1 million cap hit this year and a $4.7 million cap hit next year. So relatively, he's very cheap. Okay, depending if Jahan Dotson has a really good year this year, he might hold out for another contract or something like that. So I don't know what happens, but I don't care about next year. We're talking about this year, but I just wanted to show the contract situation. Obviously, Saquon Barkley, these are two guys from Penn State, Eagle fans that are big Penn State fans. Obviously, I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not really the biggest college fan in the world. But obviously, Saquon Barkley and Jahan Dotson have a really good relationship. Even Saquon Barkley even tweeted out. Jahan Dotson tweeted out about Saquon Barkley being in the Eagles offense, saying whose mutt team is this as a joke, but because it's overpowered with what you have there. I'm overwhelmed right now. I didn't think this was going to happen now. I didn't know if they would. Jahan Dotson obviously was the best receiver they could have traded for. Other than that, John Mechie was my number one overall trade to go for just because he would have been cheaper in trade. And like I said, I did not believe that maybe they would have traded Jahan Dotson in the division. But this is Dan Quinn we're talking about here, defensive-minded coach, and didn't think highly of Jahan Dotson. If you guys didn't know, like I said before, Jahan Dotson wasn't even competing for the number 2 receiver job. Like, Dan Quinn, I guess, doesn't like him. I don't know. But it's just kind of crazy. The Eagles are getting richer, and they're just getting more luxury offensively. I mean, the defense, obviously, there's questions, and, there's a lot of young faces there, but offensively, you can't have a year like you had last year. Like, I can see, one ugly game, but I'm telling you right now, this offense needs to put up 30, 35-plus points. There's no way that you can, if we start to fail this year or we start to trend down with this offense, it's because of this coach and Kellen Moore. It's because of this offensive coordinator is going to be the only reason. I'm sorry, but a lot of jobs are on the line with these moves. A lot of hot seats this year. A lot of things going on where you got to score what you got to score in these games, and you can't look a moment of weakness from guys. We're in the golden years. I mean, Howie Roseman is just not giving a shit. I don't know. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming because I didn't think this was going to happen at all. A few days ago, I was like, you know what? He's having issues. He's not going to be Jahan Dotson's not going to be a practice squad player. He's not, if Dan Quinn doesn't like him, I don't, and obviously he was surprised. Jahan Dotson was shocked over, that he doesn't even think he's in command right now. No pun intended, to compete for the number 2 job in Washington, or even the number 3 job that he was on the bubble on the outs. So sky's the limit, guys. You know where this can go. I'm not going to say it, but you know where this can go. This is the move that put the Eagles over the top. The Eagles were already over the top with Saquon Barkley. This is going to be the best wide receiver 3 we've had in a long time. This is the best. I got to say, it's trending upwards towards the best Eagles roster offensively I've ever seen. Now it's really putting this whole thing together on the field. Obviously, Jahan Dotson's not going to play Saturday, and obviously he's got to get some work in with Jalen Hurts the next week. There's not much time, so you have to get the terminology up, get Jahan Dotson up to speed with everything. But I'm going to stream tomorrow. Can't wait to talk to you guys about the whole thing, the whole situation. I'm very excited, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. People were trashing me because I even talked about Jahan Dotson going to the Eagles, and Dan Quinn would never do that. And, it's just like, why? Why wouldn't he want to do that? If he's already having a rough time in Washington's camp right now, and the next step people are going to say to this whole situation is, oh, why they release him? What's the problem? Is he have an attitude problem? I'm already seeing all that right now. Like, there's always, why would they really? Because, like, Dan Quinn never drafted him. Some new head coaches go to a team, and even if there's a good player there, some guys will say, hey, you know what? I don't really like him. It doesn't really fit what we do, so let's try to trade him, get rid of him. So Howie Roseman offered, got a third round, a seventh round pick. Didn't hurt the Eagles at all. I'm not worried about that. You got multiple seventh rounders, 4 seventh rounders, two third rounders. One was Miami's. Okay, so at this point, sky's the limit here, and Jahan Dotson may be, and trust me, like, I'm not thinking about 25, and all I'm thinking about is this year and what we have, and let me tell you, it's scary, dude. It's really, really scary. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the whole situation. It's crazy, bro. It's a crazy thing. Jahan Dotson trade to the Philadelphia Eagles. Legitly, you got a guy that could play as a 1A, 1B, a 1B. A guy can play a 1B to a 2. It's insane. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes about follow. Peace out, guys. Bye.